Hi all, in this video I am going to explain about PrimeNG Autocomplete. So this is the PrimeNG website and how to use a autocomplete in PrimeNG. So there are different types of options available in autocomplete. The basic one is if I type a letter, then it will show a drop down and from that we can select one. So if I want to filter more, we can type more letters and we can select one. This is called autocomplete and this is a basic one. Then drop down, this is a drop down. So when I click on it, it shows all the countries and there is a templating. That means the image is showing here and the name also showing instead of a default one. Then third option is a grouped one. So it is like under Germany, these are the places under Germany, something like that it is showing. Then virtual scroll, it is for doing the lazy loading. So first it will load these many items and after the scroll bar comes to the end, it will load another set of items, something like that we can call virtual scroll. Then multiple autocomplete, that is I can type one letter and I can select multiple options from the drop down. So other than these options, there are other options also available in the autocomplete. We can have a detailed look of how to implement autocomplete and we can explore all the options in autocomplete. Okay. So I am going into the code. So in that we have to first import all the modules required to use the autocomplete. So here I only have a one module, that is app module.ts. Okay, so in your case, if you are using a lazy loading, then if you have a multiple modules, then wherever you want to use a autocomplete, import all those libraries or packages inside app.module.ts only. In your own modules, in your own lazy loaded modules. If it is a global, if you are using global importing, then you can use app.module.ts itself. Okay, so here since I am having only one module and one component, that is app.module.ts, I am using and importing everything in the app.module.ts itself. Okay, so before do import the autocomplete, we have to make sure we are using forms module. So if you are using ngModel, you can use forms module. If you are using model driven forms like reactive forms like a formControl, you can use reactive forms instead of the forms module. And the next one is like the important one, if you are using autocomplete module, is browser animation module. This is the important one and it has to be imported from Angular platform browser and or inside animations. So if you are not using this, autocomplete won't work. Okay, the next one is it's not related to the autocomplete, but I have to use it for calling the API. Here from the API call I am getting the response and displaying the drop down values. Okay, I am not using any static JSON. The next main thing is autocomplete. Then you can import the autocomplete, and these things, after I have added the import statement, you can put all those modules inside the import section. Okay, the next step is going to the component.html. So before going to the component.html, in the documentation, first step we have done. The second step is we have to put inside in the HTML file. This autocomplete tag should be inserted in the HTML file. So before doing that, you can check the options. First option is ngModel. So first the variable needs to be declared in the component.ts, and suggestions is the drop down values whichever we have to show, and the complete method is whenever I type something, what API call or what functionality I have to do when I type something, okay, from where the data needs to be fetched. So those things we have to do it before pasting this HTML. So first one is text. So instead of text, I am giving a selected product is a variable name. Instead of suggestions, I am giving product list, and these variables I am going to declare in the app.component.ts. So product list is an array, then selected product, I am passing it any. Now it's not a good practice to give any. You can create an interface, but for this purpose I am doing any. I am assigning any to the selected product. Then once I am doing the complete method, that means if I type something in the input box, every time I am typing I have to call this API and I am getting the event. For your information, what event have, what data event have, we can. So here I am passing any also, and I am just consoling. So first we can check how this will work. Okay, so ngModel I have created, suggestions product list I am make it as an empty for now, and the search I am giving console.log. So from the search I am passing an event, I am accepting that event, and I am just consoling it. So you can see after running this application, if I type A in the event, you can see it has an original event and a query is also there. If I type B, AB is there, the loader is there, since I am not doing any other functionality. Okay, so once the whole code has been completed, it will work properly. Now I am just showing it for the use of complete method. Complete method is an event. It is like a click event, on blur event, the similar way another event which will be triggered every time I type something on it. Okay, it's like something like a key press. Okay, so key press, or if you copy something, so based on that it will call this particular functionality. Okay, so this is the search one. So here I am going to call an API. So what I am doing here, for example, I have a list of product. Whenever I am typing A, I will go and call the API and I will get the result starts with A. If I type AB, I will call the API and it will return the result starts with AB. Okay, this is what I am going to do. For that purpose, I am using a dummy JSON structure. So there is an API, there is a website which provide JSON. So I already written a code inside app.service.ts. So you can see a dummyjson.com, and if the queue is empty, it will returns all the products, like a 30 products it will return. So inside the products array it will return 30 products. Okay, so if I type iPhone, I think it will return the data starts with the title. I am not sure it is checking any other description or something like that, but the assumption is if I am passing any data, based on the result it will return the data. Okay, if I am not doing anything, it will return the all data. Okay, so I already write a function in the service get products which will accept the string, search string, and it will return this particular observable which contains the data, okay, which contains the search query. So in the app.component.ts, every time when I am typing something, I have to call that API. So for using that one, I have to use a constructor first. So constructor, I have to use it, and I have to import that service, private app service app service, it has been imported also, and in the search functionality I have to call the API. So this dot app service dot get products, it will take the search query. So in order to get the search query in the event, there was an option called event dot query. So I am passing $event dot query, then I am subscribe this particular function and I will get the response back. So response will contain all this dummy JSON, okay, and I am assigning all the dummy JSON into this variable. So this dot product list equal to this dot product equal to this object, then products. So response dot products. Since this is only contain a single line, I am putting I am not putting a curly braces. If you want, you can put a curly braces also, okay. So I in the product list I got all the data which is coming from the API, and it will come as an array, okay. So I will get all the data. I am saving this and I can show you the basic setup of an autocomplete now. If I go to the network tab and clear the console, you can see if I type I, then an API call will be gone with Q equal to search query equal to I, and it will return object. Object means it is returning these many data, okay. So if I type I here, what I am getting, all the data is displaying as object. How to avoid that? So if I want to show only the title in the drop down, there is an option called field. If it is not a label or value, if it is a label or value, automatically field will identify, okay, this is the label, so this needs to be shown inside the drop down. If it is something else, you have to clearly mention this is the one I have to show it. So it's a title. Refreshed, and if I type I, then you can see, okay, it contain I, or maybe I think the description also may contain I, it will fetch the result. Then if I type P, it will again call the API. Sorry, let me put attach this to this side, okay. Then P H, every time when I type a letter, it will call the API, okay. So this is how normally it will works. It will return the data accordingly, then it will show, and then we can select it, okay. And in order to show, whenever I selected a particular value or a title, what will be the value coming in the selected product. In order to show that, I am just showing in the HTML itself, since this is an object selected product. Whenever I am selecting a value, since it is an object, in order to see it, I am just putting it as a JSON here, okay. So I am typing iPhone and I am selecting 9, then the selected ID will contain all the data including title, description, price, ID. And if you want to pass only the ID, so if you want to pass the ID to the backend API or something like that, you can mention, you can call another function on select. This is a part of events. If you want, you can see on select. On select, the selected value you can see in the event section. So on select, you can call select select ID or something like that. I am just showing for an example. I am saving this and the selected ID, and if you want you can check maybe event also. It will have an event also. A value, selected value is there in the parameter section. So value, saving, selected ID and value. Console.log of value, saving it. I think its values does not exist. This is what it is showing. Maybe why? Because instead of event I am putting the value. Okay, so then I am typing iPhone, select. So on select I will get all the data. Then if you want to assign any data or any value to any variable, or if you want to pass to backend or something like that, do any functionality, you can use on select. Then on clear is there, on unselect is there. So based on your requirement you can write as many functionalities or events in the autocomplete. Okay, so this is one option. Then if you want to there is another option. As I mentioned here, there is one problem, like if I type if you go to the network tab, it will call the API, P it will call the API, H O N. So when I type after a delay it will call the API. So just assume I don't want to call the API these many times. In order to improve the performance, like after some seconds only I have to call the API. So after typing 4 characters I have to wait, then I have to call the API, something like that you need. There is a best option inside the autocomplete. The option is called delay. So by default the delay is 300 milliseconds. Then if you want to improve the delay, for example, if you want to delay it to 1000 and save, since this is number, I am putting the delay like this. Okay, then you can see if I type iPhone, see it will wait for some time and it will call only one API. This is a very good option in the autocomplete, and it will improvise the minimize the API calls. Okay, so this is one option, one useful option. And the other option is like min length. Okay, min length is if I put a min length equal to then 3, and if I type one letter it won't call the API, it will wait for until 3 characters. It's not related to the delay. Even though I have a delay or not, I have to type minimum 3 characters to start calling the API. Okay, for example, it won't call the API, P it won't call the API, and H it will call the API and it will return the result. Then every time it will call the API and return the result, but initial it will minimum 3 characters. Okay, so that is about min length. That is another option. Then field I have mentioned. Okay, then another option is this is different option. I will go one by one. Okay, first getting started, I hope you guys understood. Then drop down option is there. So if you are giving a drop down equal to true, so if you are giving a drop down equal to true and I am saving it, there will be a drop down icon attached to the autocomplete input box, and if you open or click on the drop down, it will return all the data. Okay, all the data with an empty string. It will return all the data with the empty string. Then if I type 3 letters, then it will call the API again. So if you want to remove this min length condition, it is fine. By default it will take min length as a 1. Okay, so this is the another drop down option. Then next option is multiple selection. So if you are giving a multiple equal to true, we will be able to select multiple. Now every time we can only select one, right? So if I type iPhone, see only one, it will be one selected. Then if I next, then it will overwrite with the value. If you want to select multiple equal to true, and then you can type any number of, so it will come as an array instead of an object. It will come the first element, the second element, so it will come as an objects, array of objects. Okay, this is the other option. Okay, this value we already mentioned. If it is an object value, then we have to mention the field. Okay, then next option is saving it. Then another option is, if I type something, if it is invalid, it is not clearing any data, it is still that selected value will be displaying as FASF, ASF, or whatever the value, invalid value instead of null. If you want to do that, there is another option called force selection equal to true. So if you are making force selection equal to true, and if I type any wrong values, and if you click on outside, it will get set into a null option. And if you type the right value, it will be still there. But if you remove the iPhone and if you click on outside, then it's an invalid value, then it will get cleared and it will be set as a null. Why? Because it is showing the string null. It is, I am setting that JSON. Okay, then next option, main option, is templating. Just assume instead of iPhone you have to show an image and the title. Not only the title, you have to show the image and the title. For that case, what you can do is, there is a templating. So as I mentioned here, drop down and templating, you can see flag is there and placed the same way. What we can do is, first there is a template item, just copying the same thing, and inside the autocomplete I am pasting this. This is the options needs to show inside the drop down. Okay, so instead of let brand, you can give, it's my product list, so it's I'm giving a meaningful name like a product. And p template item, item is the item in the drop down list. Okay, and the image, instead of this image, I am showing inside the product only I have the object, so I am showing product dot. So when I am selecting, I am getting these object, so it's like a product dot thumbnail, product dot thumbnail, and whatever the style, I am not bothering about that. Then brand, you have to mention product dot title. Saving this, and if you open this and if you type a, see, it will show the image and it will show the title also. Okay, so that is another option. But if you check this, if I select this, you can see it is showing freckle treatment icon. Just assume if you select, you have to show the ID also. So this is a new requirement. In the drop down, we have done the changes, we have changed the template. But if the selection also, if you want to change the template, so what you have to do is another set of ng template inside the autocomplete. You have to mention, instead of let value, okay, let it be the value itself. Then p template is a selected items. When it has been selected, so when it has been selected, you have to show value dot id, value dot id and value dot title. If you want, you can give let product also, it is fine. So I am typing iPhone and selecting. I think some issue is there. I think something happened. Let me give the description also. Oh, sorry. So they are mentioning in multiple mode only selected item can be customized to you in the ng template. So if it is a multiple true, multiple equal to true, see, it is showing. So it is this selected items can be changed, they are mentioning can be changed in the multiple mode only. So this template is not supported. Sorry, I missed that point. The template is not supported. That means whenever I am selecting, so I am changing to the ID, I am saving it, and if I am typing iPhone, it is showing. See, I am putting the arrow. So this is the next option. Okay. Then different options available are field. I have mentioned drop down, multiple, min length, delay. Next is option is complete on focus. So I'm just reverting it back, and I am reverting for selection multiple true, and on select true, and I'm making a minimal. Okay. So what happens if there is no complete on focus? So if I type, if I put a focus on the input box, what will happen? The list is not showing. If I type something like iPhone, the list will show. If I click outside and get the focus again, the list is not showing. So if you want to show the list, what you have to do is complete on focus, then you have to give as a true. By default it is false. So If you click on it, it will show it, and if you type iPhone and click outside, again if you click that focus, it will show the results. Okay, so you can see the API call will happen. So this is a complete on focus. Then if you want to change the style, input style, panel style, if you want to know the difference, I can show here. So if you click on the inspect P autocomplete, there is a span, there is an input, and the drop down option is also there. If you put a style, doing an inline style, it will affect in the span. If you do a input style, it will affect for this input element, and if it is a panel style, it will affect for the panel is this drop down section. Okay, so the style class is also same. If you want to apply a style class, just removing this one, and I am putting a style class equal to autocomplete, saving it, putting the CSS dot. So if you want to override that CSS from the corresponding component CSS, you can override by host, then dot autocomplete, then you can write your CSS, maybe font weight bold. Let me check it is working, and the style class has been already applied, and it is not applying. If you see, I am applying the style class to this autocomplete. See, the autocomplete has been added and it has been applied also, but why it is not working? It is overriding the styles of the input. So what you can do, I will make an input style class, and instead of this font weight bold, I can make it the border color red. See, input, it is affecting. So if I am giving input style class, it will affect to the autocomplete class. See, autocomplete class, it is getting affected here. If I am giving a style class, it is getting added into the span. Okay, or next is panel. Same way the panel class ID is also there. Okay, the next section is input ID. Input ID is nothing, it's like an ID. Instead of ID, we have to use input ID. Okay, then it automatically added an ID to the input box. Okay, then next is name. This name is a name of that input element. Then option group label, group, option group children's. This is for grouping an autocomplete section. I'm not covering that because for that we need another JSON structure or API call. In order to understand that, you can go in the documentation and stack blitz, and if you click on the project section in the src folder app and component.ts, the structure of the groups elements will be like a array of main, label and value, and the sub label and value, sub items. You have to show like this with a label and value. If the items name is different, that's what the option is. You have to give under option group label, name of the label field of an option group. Okay, you can try that. I am not covering these three options. Placeholder is nothing, it's for just putting a placeholder. So if I am putting a placeholder here, and it will autocomplete. Then read only, disable it in order to make a read only or disable status. Max length I covered, size is the size of the input field, and append to is in some cases, if you are using autocomplete inside a prime modal or any modal, the top section will be enabled, but if you click on it and if you type something, the panel section will not show sometimes. If you want to avoid, you can make append to equal to body, and you can make base index equal to some larger number than the model. Okay, so that is the one option. So that is what mainly append to. And tab index, as you mentioned, it's index of the element tabbing order. For its, you can be used for accessibility purpose. Data key, if multiple records are there, in order to identify a record with a unique key, for example ID, if you have two duplicate records but you have to identify with an ID, then you can use a data key. Okay, then auto highlights, it's like for highlighting purposes. Then type, by default it's a text. Show empty message, so if you type unknown value, it's nothing is showing. It's a show empty message. If you type a show empty message and save, it should be true or false. So true, then it should be save. And if I type something invalid, it will show no result found. If you want to change the error message or that empty message, give that message into the empty message. Now by default it will be no result found. Then immutable, then required, autofocus, and force selects I already mentioned, drop down mode. So these are the other options which is a common. Okay, then show clear, it will show the close button. And lazy is like a for virtual scrolls. If you go to the virtual scroll, you can see if you want to load only the first, first 3 items, and then when you scroll to the down, you have to show the another set of items. You can use the lazy loading also. So for that you can go through this, stack blitz. You will get the extra usage also. So if you are seeing, maybe it is not available here, but still you can try. So the lazy loading, I think it's not here. But the thing is, I can show you if it is a virtual scroll, maybe in the stack blitz there is a chance it will be available. Let me see. Oh, okay, I think it's not available. How to use a virtual scroll? It is nothing. You have to give this lazy option as a true or false, and on lazy load event you have to write it, and whenever it reaches this 1000 records, then it will call another set of new data. So the same way we have used, on select, complete method, you can use the on lazy load also. So these are the different options available, and these are the different events available. You can try all those things. I hope you understand about the almost all the options available in the autocomplete. Yeah, thanks for watching video.